An Innocent Man is a 1989 American crime drama thriller film directed by Peter Yates and starring Tom Selleck. The film follows James Rainwood, an airline mechanic sent to prison when framed by crooked police officers. Plot: James "Jimmy" Rainwood, Tom Selleck, is an ordinary and model citizen, happily married to his beautiful wife Kate. Layla Robbins has a modest home in Long Beach, California, works as an American Airlines engineer, drives a classic Pontiac Trans Am and pays his bills. Detectives Mike Parnell, David Rash, and Danny Scalise. Richard Young are cops specializing in drug busts who also frame people and steal drugs that should be declared evidence so that they can use it for their own recreational drug use and selling to dealers. One day Parnell takes a large hit of cocaine and becomes unable to concentrate properly about the address for the next drug bust, expecting to find drugs. But instead they break into the wrong house as Jimmy walks out of the bathroom with a handheld hairdryer in hand. Parnell shoots thinking it's a weapon. Rainwood is shot in the shoulder and knocked unconscious. Realizing that they could both be tested for taking drugs and charged, they decide to cover up their mistake. They plant drugs in the house and place a firearm in the hand of Rainwood's unconscious body, and they frame him as a drug dealer. Jimmy is pegged as a user, having a prior record of marijuana possession while in college, and his only defense is his word against two decorated cops. He claims the two cops framed him, but no evidence proves the men are corrupt. He gets a 6-year prison sentence. Internal Affairs Detective John Fitzgerald, Badger Jola, takes a mild personal interest in the situation, although he cannot do anything since everything is hearsay. Jimmy is initially naive about prison life. Early in his term he sees his cellmate stabbed with a screwdriver and set on fire, and then has a personal run-in with the Black Gorilla family run by Jingles, who took his commissary purchases after the gang assaults him and threatens him with sexual assault, and does not report them. He comes to the realization that he has to take the recommendation of fellow inmates Butcher, Dennis Berkeley, and Virgil Kane, F. Murray Abraham, to take care of his problem. Quote: Jimmy gets a plexiglass shank, stabs Jingles to death, and spends 3 months in a windowless, subterranean solitary confinement, although it's never proven he did the job. When he is released to the general population, he is received as a minor hero for ridding the prison of Jingles. On the outside, Kate is causing trouble by bringing the situation to the attention of whoever will listen, and is threatened by Parnell and Scalise. Her visit to Fitzgerald went nowhere, so she told him the detectives insulted him racially, which, although a lie, was reinforced when Fitzgerald angrily told them to stay away from Kate and coincidentally used the words that Kate said they had used before being paroled after 3 years served. Virgil suggests getting even with the detectives, but he instead sets out to regain his life on the outside until paid a visit by the detectives, who indicate that Jimmy's future depends on whether or not he does what Parnell and Scalise say. Parnell and Scalise are set up to arrest the dealers of some competition that are in reality protected dealers of Joseph Donatelli. J. Johnston. Of course, the detectives do not turn over all the drugs and are robbed by masked culprits who, unknown to them, are Jimmy and Malcolm M.C. Gainey, another inmate that later call into the detectives to return the drugs for a cash payout, where Malcolm is wired for sound recording by Fitzgerald. There is a glitch and Jimmy has to declare himself, and a gunfight ensues. Malcolm is shot and killed by Parnell. Scalise dies after crashing his car trying to escape, and Parnell is about to die at the hands of Jimmy by Parnell's own switchblade. Kate begs Jimmy not to kill Parnell, saving him so that he can be convicted. The movie ends with both Kate and Jimmy returning to a life they both deserve. Parnell is put into general prison population, a creative liberty, as convicted ex-cops are always kept in protective custody or are housed in out-of-state federal prisons. On entry to the prison inmate main room, Virgil calls attention to Parnell by yelling, "Hey, officer," for all the other inmates to see and hear. Parnell looks up to the balcony where Virgil is standing, his face frozen in a mask of fear, and hears Virgil say, "Ain't life a motherfucker?" Quote, repeating the line said when he and Jimmy met last and Jimmy went on parole. Jimmy is seen suited up working again for the airline, thus finally getting his life back. Cast: Tom Selleck as Jimmy Rainwood, F. Murray Abraham as Virgil Kane, Layla Robbins as Kate Rainwood, David Rash as Mike Parnell, Richard Young as Danny Scalise, Badger Jola as John Fitzgerald, Bruce A. Young as Jingles, Dennis Berkeley as Butcher, Todd Graff as Robbie, M. C. Gainey as Malcolm, Lt. Mike Budge as Warden, Peter Van Orden as Peter Feldman, James T. Morris as Jr., Tobin Bell as Zeke, An Innocent Man on Internet Movie Database, An Innocent Man at AllMovie, An Innocent Man at Box Office Mojo.